So let me try and pin you down on some predictions here, best I can.
All right.
So we talked about games in the car that you play purely with your voice.
Yep.
What year would you expect to see this? It's 2011 right now.
It's 2011 right now. I've been thinking that this would have been here. So I played Time Quest, which I wrote in 1991.
Yeah.
And I was able to play Time Quest by speaking to it in 1991.
Oh.
So
Wow.
it was a little painful,
Yeah.
because I had to repeat words and that sort of thing. But I could play the game. I would say something and it would work.
What was the vocabulary of Time Quest? What was the size of the vocabulary?
I don't remember.
Okay. But I would guess less than 1,000 words would be my guess.
I would guess more.
Okay.
I would guess a lot more because
Okay.
the syntax file that we would set up, there would be the word, one verb would be hit.
Yeah.
And then you'd say, but you could also say strike or smash.
Okay.
And so we'd have this whole string of words that were synonymous with the base word. And I tried to make that string as big as possible so that players could type whatever they wanted. So, 1991, I am speaking to my game and I'm playing my game by talking to it.
Right.
Surely, it will only be 5 years before this becomes mainstream.
Right. Here it is 20 years and we're not even close.
Right. So what year? Let's see what has to happen. Somebody has to believe in it. Somebody has to make it. Somebody has to... it has to be economically viable. So there's got to be a way for people to pay it for it.
Well, here's what I would posit. If you're going to be doing your car, it's mobile, right? So probably an app store model. So you've got that advantage that the app store is kind of encouraging of novel things. Further, you've got the fact that people have a real reason to have, the thing's already got a microphone. And people
all the enablers are there.
All the enablers are there. The whole speech to text business is like that. The mobile is the right place for it. The question is when, and it's one thing for someone to make an experimental game. Someone could make that tomorrow.
Right.
But for people to be playing these on an ordinary basis, do you think 10 years is too soon?
I think the answer is never.
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 Never. Okay, I like this. So tell me more about never. Never is a long time.
Never is a long time.
All right.
And the reason has to do with the economics. So, and the competitive space. What else? So what else can you do in your car?
Not much, man. It's boring.
Well, that's why I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
But I think there will be now. You can you have GPS navigation in your car. There are games that you could probably play. You could probably play on a heads-up display. One could imagine.
Not while you're driving.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You okay.
Yeah. I mean, people put that GPS right there.
Oh man.
That's right. I'm not saying that traffic accidents won't go up.
Okay.
But no, mostly what I think the barrier is the desire to create it versus the financial incentive to have created it. I don't see it as I would like it to be a big hits business. I don't think that it will be, which is not to say that I won't try.
Okay.
Because it's the kind of thing that I'm interested in.
Okay, but wait. So you're just getting back to this. Like, you don't believe that people like interactive, voice-based car games?
As a parser-driven adventure ish
Yeah.
game as a commercial enterprise, don't think it's going to happen.
And you think it'll just cost too much for what people will pay to play? Well, let me take a different direction. Maybe it's not parser based. Maybe it's not an adventure. But let's say it's a window into World of Warcraft or something. Some game I'm already playing, and now I've got a way I can kind of connect with that world, do some level of tasks as a supporting measure for some other game that maybe has another meaning for me.
Pretty narrow-minded. I'm thinking no.
No? Okay, so...
No to that.
So voice-based card games, you just think not happening.
Well, no,
I mean, like 100 years from now, not happening?
Well, yeah, I mean, like 100 years from now, I don't know if we're in cars, right? So,
right.
So no, I don't think so. I think,
okay. Okay. All right. So that's one prediction. Voice-based card games not happening.
Not happening.
That's a concrete prediction. I like it. It's also congratulations. You're the Crystal Ball Society's first negative prediction of something that will never happen, and
okay.
which is exciting. That's a new precedent. Now then, let me see if another line that we kind of got into was the nature of talking about Milo and conversation-based characters that happen via voice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts about, in any form, whether it be console or PC, or when we would expect to see a game that features that in a meaningful way?
Much sooner.
Than never. Okay, good. Half again as soon.
Yes. Yes.
When? Well, like I don't know. What do you think? 10 years from now?
It's Xenos. It's Xenos soon.
Yeah. Right.
So there's this guy in England who has been crowdsourcing AI.
Yeah.
You know about this?
I don't know.
This is, I guess I think he's a guy who in the last, 3 to 5 years has won the Turing competition,
Okay.
sort of more often than anybody else.
Yeah.
Which is to say, not he hasn't totally. Nobody's won, but they give prizes for coming close.
Sure.
And he's the one who's won the prize for coming closest. And there's a website you can go to, and you can start to talk to this entity.
Yeah.
And the more people who do that, the smarter this thing gets.
Right.
And it just keeps getting better and better. And yes, you can break it, but you have to work harder and harder to break it. I could see that getting incorporated into a game, and I could see that happening certainly within 10 years. I'd like to be a little bit bolder and say within 5, but I don't think within 5, and the reason is again the economics of what drives the game industry.
Yeah.
The kind of people who can put the money into that sort of thing make fewer bets and are less inclined to take a big risk like that.
Okay.
So
2021.
Yes, 2021.
By 2021, there will be a commercial game that where I'm having a semi-natural conversation with a character using voice. Do you think, or typing?
Voice.
Using voice.
Absolutely.
Using voice.
Or typing as well. I mean.
Voice or typing.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And I mean, you could argue we've already seen things like this with Seaman, if you remember that.
Yeah.
How will this new thing be differentiated from Seaman?
Range of vocabulary and depth of character. I could see, instead of it being reflective, in a Rogerian sense, I could see an AI that was programmed to have a character who would react with anger towards certain topics, would react with glee at other things, and that would be, furthermore, would be hooked up to visuals that would be somewhat convincing.
Okay, so emotional voice communication with emotional voice-based communication with an AI character in a game by 2021.
Yeah.
All right, cool.